Hey guys, this is Joseph Lucero with Powerlifting Technique, and today we're going to talk about how do you approach programming for powerlifting. Now this might sound like such a very long video and we can break down all those crazy little details, but we're going to keep it at a very basic level. We're going to cover the span of 12 weeks using a specific format for a 4-day split to help you elevate your performance in powerlifting. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time. I was a powerlifter starting at the age of 13, 14, and I competed until I was 25, 26. I mean, I kept going till I was 30, but it wasn't as consistent. Started a career, got married, got a family. But nonetheless, through all that experience of being an athlete, plus with my experience as being an online strength coach, I'm here to tell you that some people really overthink powerlifting. And by the end of the video, you'll understand how to perform a 4-day split using 5 exercises a day to help you reach your next goals and to help you perform better this year in your powerlifting career. So 4-day split, what does that look like? You have your squat, bench, deadlift, and then your secondary press day. I'm sure you're thinking this right now, oh, he's only gonna make me squat 1 day a week. That's not necessarily true. The goal of the 4-day split is to really emphasize the squat 1 day, the bench 1 day, the deadlift 1 day, and then a secondary press day just to hit some accessories you might have missed throughout the week, meaning like the shoulders, biceps, some triceps too. But let's start from the top. So most of the clients I work with start off with a squat day, a leg day. You could volunteer to switch the days, but let's just keep it simple. With the squat day, you're gonna start off with your squats, but then moving forward with the routine, you wanna overall pick 5 exercises that are gonna correspond to your squat, your form, and how to make it better. Now, how do you know what's gonna make it better? Well, through my experience with this, there are people who might squat better doing the box squat or the pause squat and things like that, but we're gonna keep it very vanilla and just try to give you the bare bones of the program just so that you can implement it and make any adjustments you want to with it. So on a squat day, I would start off with my squat. Same thing with bench and deadlift. I would start with my bench on bench day, etc. But after your squat, you want to go into a variation movement that supports your lift. Now, because I was talking about our 12-week program, I'm gonna have you consider kind of following the same guidelines from start to finish. So I would squat 2 sets of 5, build up to your heaviest set. And then the variation lift I would choose is a pin squat. The nice part about a pin squat is you come down, you have to rest the weight on the pins, and then you have to lift it off the pins from a resting state. It really challenges your core, your legs, your hips, etc. It's a good movement that not a lot of people promote in their program to make them a better lifter when it comes to especially squat. So you're gonna start your squat day with squats, a variation lift, I would say the pin squats. And then from there, I'm gonna recommend doing tempo variations. So since it's squat day, we'll do tempo squats. That means going at a specific cadence. So I usually do a 5-2-0 cadence, 5 seconds down, 2-second pause, 0 seconds up, meaning be explosive. And then from there, I would do a hinge movement, like an RDL, anything that's gonna get your hips going backwards and forwards, and then some kind of knee flexion movement that's gonna work your hamstrings specifically, just to counterbalance all the leg extension and hip extension you've done. So on squat day, I did my competition lift, variation lift, tempo lift, and then 2 accessories, one being a hinge, one being a curling motion, just to support the posterior part of my anatomy. So because it's powerlifting, most of the movements need to be powerlifting based. If you follow that on bench day, that means you're gonna start off benching, preferably 2 sets of 5, and then the variation lift, I would say pin press. It's kind of like the pin squat. All the benefits go towards your arms and building up your bench. I will go pin press next, and then tempo bench press. 5-2-0, 5 seconds down, 2-second pause, 0 seconds up. And then accessory. One of the accessories can be like a chest fly, and then another accessory can be like a rear deltoids to work the posterior part of your anatomy. That's what I would follow. Now, I know I'm loosely giving you advice on accessory, but it really boils down to what are some things that you need to work on. For example, with me, I never really hit the rear delts very hard, so I felt like that might be a more sensible thing to put on my press day. So if I break down the bare bones of my bench day, competition lift, variation lift, tempo lift, accessory, one of the accessories you might want to prioritize is the rear deltoid, just to counterbalance how much extension you're doing. You want to counterbalance and support the rear shoulder through that. Now, deadlift day is a little different. On deadlift day, I'm going to break the norm and tell you that you should focus first on some kind of squat variation. Now, here's the reason why I say that. Deadlift day should have some kind of flexibility because when you compete, you squat before you deadlift, right? So you might as well do that in training. And plus, with a lot of my clients, if they squat before they deadlift, they feel like they can deadlift a lot more because they're priming their body, their hips, their knee joint to deadlift a lot more weight. So I would think on deadlift day, maybe consider that advice. So instead of going competition, variation, tempo, start off with pause squats. Now from there, you go pause squats or box squats, deadlift. Now the variation of the deadlift depends. If you're gonna stick with tempo, you should tempo lift and focus on the eccentric being the tempo. So lift it explosively, come down for 5 seconds, rest it, and during that stretching phase when you come down and you squat with the bar to deadlift it, or bring the bar back down and hinge and kind of squat it down, you're loading that muscle to be prepared for the next rep. So the tempo rep might almost teach you better postural mechanics to deadlift when you use that as a tool. So, you're gonna box or pause squat, you're gonna deadlift, and then the variation of the deadlift, that's a tricky one. With a lot of my clients, we don't really focus on a variation of the deadlift. We just do a bunch of more tempo sets or speed sets. But if I was to give you some kind of advice for your deadlift, you might wanna go a unique route, and it would be the isometric, pulling against the pins in a motionless position. That seems to be a top variation for a lot of my deadlifters and for them to thrive with their deadlifting. So you're gonna do some kind of squat, you're gonna deadlift, isometric pull, tempo deadlifts, and then the last thing I would do is some kind of horizontal row to help work your lats, your traps especially, to having a better deadlift. And then for day 4, I would prefer to promote with clients is like a 30-degree or maybe 45-degree close grip press. You're pressing from a different position, so that means you're prioritizing your pressing muscles differently to help grow them instead of just bench pressing all the time. So I would say on the 4th day, you would do some kind of close grip incline. The variation, I would do a shoulder press, like a dumbbell seated shoulder press. It's not what you would normally think, but I think that's kind of important because we need to work the shoulders too. And your tempo sets are going to be bench press with the tempo, kind of like day 2, to get more opportunities to press in the week and to get that frequency at least 2 times a week. And then accessory, I would really prioritize things to help expose the bicep a little bit more, maybe like an underhand lat pull down, hammer curls, things like that, and then throwing in some triceps extensions as well. You might want to actually do 6 exercises on that 4th day just to make sure you catch up and you don't lose opportunities to grow the biceps, triceps, and then also the deltoids too. You already hit the rear delt on day 2, shoulder press, you're hitting the front delt. You might want to hit the lateral raises at some part of the 4th day as well. So I know I kind of had a framework with you guys. It was competition lift, variation, tempo, accessory. I think that's applicable for most days. So like if you're gonna run to the gym today and you wanna get a workout in, make sure you hit your competition, your variation, and then a tempo lift. And then from there, think about what muscles need to grow the most and hit those in your accessories. Now, that is what I would consider out of the 12 weeks, what you should do on the first 4 weeks. Now, the next 4 weeks, I would say maybe it's less reps and higher intensity. So like the first 4 weeks, you're working on sets of 5. The next 4 weeks, you're working on sets of 3. And then the last 4 weeks, you're working on sets of 1 with your competition lift. Your variation lift can change and evolve. Maybe for pin squats, instead of sets of 5, it's sets of 3 or sets of 1. Maybe you're working on walkouts instead. There's a lot of flexibility with the formatting I'm providing with you. In fact, I'm actually gonna do something pretty unique. If you click below in the description, there's gonna be a clickable link for a PDF that actually gives you the framework of what a 12-week program should look like. It's gonna give you some of the literature we talked about just now, but what it'll do is it'll kind of give you a sample routine of what week 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and 9 through 12 should look like, just to kind of help you better understand and not have to digest all of this in one single video. But I'm a firm believer in progressively overloading the system to a peak. So I think as the 12 weeks go on, you follow that format, you increase the intensity, but as that increases, you decrease the reps. So less reps, more weight, build up to a peak. Hopefully your variations and your tempos helped you build up to a good peak, and your accessory choices are conducive to where your strengths and limitations are. And then from there, you start back over. Strength comes in seasons, guys. I tell you this constantly in a lot of my videos. You can't always deadlift 500. You can't always bench 400. You're gonna build up to a peak and then start over. Build up to a peak and start over. But notice this, when you peak and then you start back over at your baseline, hopefully every time you peak, your peak is higher than before, so your baseline's higher. So all the data shows this linear progression upward and that you're getting stronger each time and you're making consistent gains. But with all that being said, that's kind of our approach for programming for powerlifting. 12-week program, high reps, building up to a single rep max, max, competition lift, variation, hit the tempo work, and then 2 accessories after to support your lifts and your strengths and your weak points. So click below to see in the description the PDF sample of the 12 weeks. Hit the subscribe, like the channel, leave a comment. Let's talk more about this topic. The reason why we brought up this topic was because someone else asked us about it. They said, hey, can you kind of navigate us through some programming tactics for powerlifting? That's what we did just now. So hopefully you guys can show more interest, get more involved, more engaged, and we can have more great conversations about powerlifting and how to get bigger and stronger and better than ever. So again, my name is Joseph Lucero. Hopefully have a good day, and thanks for checking out our channel.